If you're thinking about moving to Tucson in 2026, there is something I need you to hear right away. Most relocation videos make Tucson sound either perfect or they make it sound like a nightmare. And neither one of those is the actual truth. The real story of Tucson lives in the trade-offs, not the surface level pros and cons, not the weather cliches, not the it's cheap sound bites. It lives in the moments people don't expect until they're already here. The quiet ones, the emotional ones, the lifestyle adjustments that don't show up in a Zillow search. And today I want to talk about that honestly. I'm Meagan Estees, your easy homegirl. I help people just like you relocate, buy, and build a lifestyle in Tucson, Vail, Oro Valley, Tanque Verde, and Southern Arizona. My job is not just to convince you to move here. My job is to help you decide if Tucson is actually what fits you. Because when Tucson is right for someone, it's incredible. And when it's the wrong fit, it's usually because nobody explained these trade-offs first. So today, I'm breaking down the 7 lifestyle shifts people experience when they move to Tucson. Not deal breakers, not warnings, just the truth. And by the end of this video, you'll know whether Tucson feels like your next chapter or just a nice place to visit. But before we get into it, quick favor. Like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me where you're from. I read every single one, and it helps this channel reach the people who actually need this information. All right, let's get into it. Trade-off number 1, space versus convenience. One of the biggest reasons people move to Tucson is space. There's more land, we have bigger lots, and we have plenty of room to breathe. And Tucson is absolutely what delivers on that. But here's the trade-off nobody explains. The more space you want, the more intentional you have to be about convenience. In many parts of Tucson, especially places like the foothills, ranch-style areas, or places like Tanque Verde and Vail, space doesn't come wrapped in strip malls and 5-minute errand runs. You might drive 10 to 15 minutes to a grocery store. Your favorite restaurant might not be right down the street. Amazon deliveries might feel like they're a little bit slower. For some people, that feels extremely inconvenient. For others, that feels like pure freedom. The people who thrive here are the ones who don't mind planning a little bit more so they can live a lot better. If you're coming from a dense city where everything is stacked on top of each other, Tucson will feel different. It'll feel slower and more deliberate. And that's not a downside, but it is definitely a choice. Trade-off number 2, the desert beauty versus the maintenance. Let's talk about the desert because it is stunning and it's also very much alive. People fall in love with the saguaros, the mountain backdrops, the sunsets, and the open skies. And they should, because it's absolutely breathtaking. But desert living isn't passive. Landscaping doesn't always take care of itself. Native plants still need some management. Dust happens often, and monsoon brings growth, debris, and maintenance. If you're moving from a place where lawns, trees, and seasons feel familiar, the desert requires a mindset shift. The upside is that once you understand that, desert living is actually simpler than high maintenance greenery. But the adjustment is very real. The people who struggle here are the ones who expect the desert to behave like the suburb. The people who love it here are the ones who respect it and work with it. Trade-off number 3 is a slower pace of life. Tucson does not rush, and that can feel shocking if you're coming from a high-speed, high-pressure environment. People take their time here. Conversations last longer, service can feel more relaxed, schedules aren't as aggressive. At first, some people interpret that as inefficiency, but something very interesting happens at about 6 months in. Your shoulders drop, your nervous system calms down, and you stop measuring your days in a productivity alone. Tucson has a rhythm, And once you match it, life starts to feel fuller. This is why Tucson attracts people who are tired of burnout, but not ready to stop living. It's not slow in a boring way, it's slow in a human way. Trade-off number 4, heat versus outdoor freedom. Yes, it gets hot here, very hot. That's not the trade-off. The trade-off is when you do things, not whether you can. In Tucson, you learn the shift to your day. Early mornings become magical, evenings become social, and midday becomes rest time. And in exchange, you get year-round outdoor living that most places can't touch. Patios, hiking, outdoor dining, sunsets that feel unreal. People who fight the heat struggle, people who adapt thrive. This isn't a place where you hide indoors for half the year, you just learn how to live smarter. Before we keep going, quick pause. If you're watching this and thinking, okay, this is already different than what I've heard, I want you to comment or text me, 520-980-9880, and send the word relocate. I'll send you my relocation guide and we can talk through Tucson fits for your lifestyle, not just your budget. No pressure though, it's just some clarity on what it takes to live here. All right, let's keep going. Trade-off number 5, privacy versus distance. One of the biggest strengths that we have here in Tucson is privacy. Homes with space between neighbors, quiet nights, dark skies. But the privacy often means a little more distance. Your house might not be in a tight-knit subdivision. Neighbors may be friendly, but not intrusive. Community looks a little different here. For some people, that feels like isolation at first. But there is a flip side. Tucson's communities form around interests, not proximity. We have hiking groups, wine clubs, art communities, equestrian circles, food scenes. Once you plug into what you love, community finds you. Trade-off number 6, culture shock in an absolutely good way. Tucson is not Phoenix, it's not Scottsdale, and it's definitely not a cookie cutter city. It's layered, it's historic, it's influenced by Mexico, native culture, artists, academics, and creatives. Some people don't know what to make of it at first, but if you value authenticity over polish, Tucson becomes addictive. I'm talking the food, the art, the traditions, and the pure pride. It feels real here. Trade-off number 7, community versus anonymity. In Tucson, people remember you. Your barista knows your order. Your neighbors notice when you're gone, and your name starts to matter too. That can feel uncomfortable for people who prefer to be unknown, but for many, it becomes the reason why they stay. This is a place where roots still actually mean something. So here's the truth. Tucson isn't for everyone, and that's exactly why it works so well for the people that it is right for. If you want space, authenticity, community, and a lifestyle that feels intentional instead of frantic, Tucson might just be your place. And if you want help figuring that out before you pack a single box, text me at 520-980-9880. Send me the word relocate. And before you go, drop a comment and tell me this. Which of those trade-offs surprised you the most? Because Tucson doesn't sell itself with perfection. It wins people with honesty. And that's where the magic actually starts. I'm Meagan Estees, your AZ homegirl, and I'll see you around town.